up, lads? This is our AEW WrestleDream Prediction video. I didn't know what else to say. This is our WrestleDream Predictions video.
All right.
This is quite possibly Bryan Danielson's last ever pay-per-view as a full-time wrestler.
We'll see.
We'll get into if we actually think that's going to happen.
We'll see.
But we'll get into the one. I think that there's only one 0-hour match.
Oh, okay.
Which is Atlantis Jr. versus Brian Cage. Brian Cage, I looked at betting odds for this. Brian Cage is the betting odds favorite to take that ROH TV title.
Considering I've never heard of Atlantis Jr., I'm going to say Brian Cage is probably winning.
I think a lot of people are down for Brian Cage. They want it. However, I know that Atlantis Jr. is really, really popular in Mexico, so I'm gonna stick with Atlantis Jr. I think a lot of people are gonna be upset because for some reason now it looks like Brian Cage has a big fan base.
Oh, really?
Actually, no, because I was a Brian Cage ride or die guy for years, so I need to be a Brian Cage ride or die guy for now. So I'm switching that. I am gonna be Brian Cage.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sure.
And then we get into another ROH match. This is the Mark Briscoe versus Chris Jericho ROH World Title match.
If Mark Briscoe doesn't win, I'm setting something on fire.
Mark Briscoe by 1,000,000.
I'm rioting in the street.
Jericho cannot bring up Jay and then also beat Briscoe.
If he didn't bring up Jay, I'm rioting in the street. If Jericho is an angel, I'm rioting in the streets.
Yeah, I think that it has to be Briscoe. I also don't think it makes sense for Jericho to be the one to take the title off Briscoe. I have a whole theory on who takes the title off Briscoe. I think it's Kyle O'Reilly.
I'm just going to say, I don't think it was a coincidence that the last pay-per-view AEW did was so good and potentially pay-per-view of the year, and Jericho wasn't on it. I'm just saying.
I do think that they should probably move this match to 0 hour. They're not going to because this is a long match.
They're not going to because outside of the obvious, like, they're going to keep Jericho on, but, like, Briscoe should be on the main card.
I get it, but there's 11 matches. Briscoe doesn't have to be on the main card.
But I think he should. There's got to be a loser on there that we can move to the 0 hour.
Well, I think that you could make the argument for Hologram versus the Beast Mortos in a 2 out of 3 falls match.
0 hour.
But this is big for
0
Hologram.
hour.
This is his first ever pay-per-view
0
main
hour.
card. I think it's Hologram. I feel even more confident with winning than even Mark Briscoe.
You know what's funny is when I first thought of it, I was posting like my thoughts on Threads. I said Mortos because I've seen him more, but it might be Hologram.
That's crazy. Hologram hasn't lost.
I know. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
He's
undefeated. Yeah.
So, well, you know what? I'm going Mortos.
You're thinking Mortos beats Hologram.
I'm feeling it. I don't know why.
You're wrong.
I'm going with the vibes.
That's.
Oh wait, is it Mortos with Rouge now?
Yes.
Oh, Hologram.
All right, I switched up one. You can switch up one. I do think Hologram wins because he's undefeated. I don't know what exactly is the long-term plans for Hologram. I still think that that's unknown. He's just kind of like a Collision staple at the moment.
Yeah. People like him.
People like him. I mean, he's got a great moveset. But we're kind of waiting for that next.
There's no
thing.
like real story thing. There's nothing happening.
No,
yet.
outside of he's just feuding with Mortos.
Right. Yeah.
But that's it. He had a great match with Commander on Dynamite. But it's the best 2 out of 3 falls, which I find interesting. I wonder if LFI gets involved at some point. But then we have the hometown boy, I guess home state boy, Darby Allin versus Brody King in a open challenge match.
Which is not an open challenge because it's been set.
Well, yeah, I guess it's no longer open challenge.
Darby, obviously.
Yeah, Darby's. I think Darby. My take is that Darby wins the world title at World's End, whether that's against Mox or Danielson. We'll get into that later. But I think Darby's winning the world title. I think this is the tune-up match. Remember, right before Swerve was winning the world title, like a couple months before Swerve won the world title, he was facing Dustin Rhodes. Right? It was just like a warm-up match that you were like, they're just putting him on the card because they want to have him on the card. I think this is the same exact thing. They just have him on the card because they want him to be the big star, but the story isn't ready for him to be in the world title match yet.
I think it's also because it's his hometown.
It's his hometown. Also, they're like, who do you want to face in your hometown? And of course, he's going to pick his best friend, Brody King.
Yeah, which is it's such a weird friendship.
They have a love relationship.
Yeah.
Then we have the TNT title match: Jack Perry versus Turkey Leg Shibata. If you know, you know. Jack Perry may end up kissing Shibata in this match.
Listen, Jack Perry's winning is the point.
Jack Perry's winning. Yeah. I think I saw the odds for this, and it was minus like 5,000. Jack. Like it's just like obviously he's gonna.
No, I mean I like Shibata a lot, but like he's not. You're not winning.
But I do think that something interesting happens here.
I do think it's gonna be something because I don't know if they're gonna give Jack a clean win on Shibata.
I think he still may even win clean. I don't know if he wins clean against Shibata because
Or like
I do
somebody's
think-
still gonna interfere, or like something.
I do think that you could see interference of the elite. Okay, here, call me crazy, call me Carson.
Right, Carson.
I have thought for this entire time, and I still partly think this, that Daniel Garcia is a part of this Blackpool Combat story to help out Wheeler Yuta.
Mm-hmm.
But he may be against the elite, actually. I could see a moment where Jack Perry is attacking Shibata, or the elite are attacking Shibata, and the elite help Jack Perry beat Shibata. And Garcia comes out to help out Shibata. Who are the two to go against the elite? So then you could have Jack Perry and Daniel Garcia. Garcia eventually takes the title off Jack Perry. So sorry for you.
How about you have
he
Daniel
resigned.
Garcia
He
mind
resigned.
his
So-
motherfucking business?
Well, he's future champion. So you could have Jack.
TNT champion.
You could have Jack and Garcia, right?
Okay.
You could have Okada Shibata, right?
Mhm.
And then you have the elite or the Young Bucks versus Private Party. And there's a stable of Garcia, Shibata, Private Party. We also saw them backstage celebrating together.
So you think that's equal?
I mean, yeah, the elite are kind of screwed outside of Okada. You know, Okada can definitely hang with Shibata, but
You think
Garcia's not
the
hanging.
Young Bucks and Private Party, you think that's an equal?
Perfect transition. We go into the Young Bucks versus Private Party for the
Young
AEW.
Bucks are winning.
Okay.
If they put the titles on Private Party, I will genuinely be gobsmacked. Okay? Flabbergasted.
I think the Bucks.
I will pass out.
I think the Bucks beat Private Party, but
Thank you.
I don't think it's crazy to say Private Party.
No, I think it is.
I think
It's actually insane.
but the people want Private Party. The
I
people,
don't know who the people are.
The people, me. I'm people.
You and like Trav and people who are in our fucking chat are
No.
not everybody.
No. The people. I guarantee you, if you were to poll people, they'd be like, "Hey, AEW fans, would you rather have Private Party as tag champs or the Young Bucks?" They would say Private Party. They want to see Private Party with the gold. But yeah, I'm gonna say Young Bucks because I'm still holding out on that Young Bucks GYV feud.
Oh right.
But I'm saying I'm putting it here because no one's talked about it yet. Garcia, Shibata, and Private Party as a team.
You good?
Except
You
Harry.
comfortable?
Except there, Harry. All right, now Harry has joined us for a perfect timing where we get Mariah May, his favorite wrestler, Mariah May.
Thank you. Mariah May? You like Mariah? Yeah, you like Mariah?
The real ones know his favorite wrestler, Mariah May, versus Willow Nightingale. Mariah's obviously winning
Mariah's
this
winning
one.
this.
I do.
Respectfully to Willow.
I do really want to see what Mina's involvement is in this match.
That's true. I didn't think of that.
Willow had a great promo when Mariah legitimately like bloodied her. Did
Yeah,
you see that?
yeah.
Where like she actually got cut.
Yeah.
Great promo from Willow. Willow, these are my two favorites in AEW's women's division.
Yeah.
It makes me a little sad that I don't think Willow's winning, but she's also coming off a loss of the Chris Statlander feud. That I don't think that
and
it
she
makes.
lost the title to Mercedes before that.
I don't think it makes sense for her to win the championship, but I also do need Willow to get into a feud where she starts eating
To
some more
win?
wins.
Yeah, that's fair.
Okay, so let's get into MXM versus the Acclaimed.
I'm hoping for MXM. I feel like it's gonna be.
I think the Acclaimed win, but you know what? Sometimes you got to just take a prediction and just run with what you want. And
Yeah.
my heart says MXM, so I'm going to say MXM wins it.
What do you think, Harry? MXM or the Acclaimed? You don't like the Acclaimed, right? You don't like Max Caster. He's gross. He's gross, Harry.
Harry, you are sitting like a human. You're sitting like a fat dad watching football.
You're not fat, Harry.
Yeah, you are, Chuck.
You're not fat, Harry.
Doctors have prescribed you.
No.
All right, now we'll get into Hangman Adam Page versus Jay White.
I am going for Jay White. I am. Sorry. Not sorry. But I am.
It is his return. He's back.
Yeah.
So it would kind of seem a little crazy for him to lose his first match back.
Exactly.
You know what? I'm gonna be a fence sitter here and say that it is going to be some kind of DQ.
Nah.
Yeah. I just hit the mic.
Jay White wins.
I just don't want to see Hangman lose either.
Oh, too bad, so sad. He's losing. So.
Hangman's our guy. All right, so then we got Ospreay, Ricochet,
Ospreay's
Takeshita
winning.
in the International Championship match. I think that this is probably the hardest match to predict.
No, Ospreay's winning. Well, maybe, but Ospreay's winning.
I'm going to go out on a limb and say Takeshita. Yeah. I mean, Ospreay's my boy, but I do think that we could see Takeshita win And we might see Fletcher help him.
No, I don't
We
think
might
so.
see-
I don't think Fletcher.
Here-
I think Fletcher ends up picking Osprey.
Call me crazy, call me Carson, right?
All right, Carson.
It could be Fletcher and Takeshita
Mm-hmm.
versus Osprey and Ricochet.
I guess.
I could see that happening. I could also see if they're trying to combine championships, we could see Takeshita win the international championship, go into the C2, win the C2, and combine the titles.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Also, I was trying to cook up a theory about Okada and Takeshita because I thought that was going to be the big feud. And when they interacted, Okada said he will be champion, just not this champion. And Okada and Takeshita didn't seem offended by that. It was then when he called Don Callis a bitch that Takeshita got mad.
I guess
right?
so, yeah.
But also, I could see if Fletcher ends up picking Osprey because they just got Lance Archer in the Don Callis family now.
Oh,
So
that's
maybe
right.
it's Takeshita and Lance
Yeah.
Archer versus Osprey and Fletcher. But that kind of leaves Ricochet in a weird place.
It does.
Which maybe Ricochet is just C2 guy then. And
Yeah.
he's going to be in the C2 and he's going to be just like awesome match guy.
Right.
Which is fine.
I think it's a little early to put a title on Ricochet when Osprey has so many stories going on.
I don't think Ricochet would get a title. I just am trying to see where exactly
I just
he's-
think for this match. Like,
Exactly.
I just think it's
Oh,
too
yeah.
early to give
Respectfully,
him a title because...
this is between Osprey and
Yeah,
Takeshita.
there's too many
Ricochet's not
stories
winning
going
the
on,
championship.
like with this title and with Osprey, that it's
I
a
don't.
lot.
I don't think Ricochet should win the championship.
Yeah.
Something else that's kind of odd. No Mercedes.
Yeah.
At least for the time being, Mercedes
Yeah.
and Stat is not set.
They
And this is
gotta-
Friday.
They gotta do something with Mercedes.
Yeah.
I wanted something longer term, and I don't know if it was never the plan to do Brit long term with
Yeah.
Mercedes or not, or if that got fucked up. But like, I don't know. I need something long. I need a long term Mercedes story starting soon.
Yeah.
And I need more. I want more women in that faction. Like I want her to have a
That-
stable.
ri-
like,
right. We need to get like a
I just-
faction going on with
I
that.
feel like we need to. I feel like she came in hot. We had her on every single week. She was doing stuff. She got as soon as she started wrestling, she was wrestling almost every week.
Yeah.
But now it feels like we're going not like backwards, but like it's not as hot anymore.
Yeah.
Like we're cooling off a little bit, and I need to get back into Mercedes.
100%.
What's next? Last
All right.
match.
Last
right?
match. Danielson Mox.
Danielson's winning.
Does Danielson retire?
I think Danielson is winning. I think I like your theory of Darby being the one to end up retiring him because I do think that makes the most sense overall.
Yeah.
I just think it's a little early in like the whole story that's going on with like Danielson Mox and for Danielson to lose and go part time.
I see. This is exactly what I think. I think that we still need more story development on Moxley
Yeah.
and what this whole thing.
We need
is
to know who the
against
fuck
Danielson.
the person is that
I-
is even like controlling.
I think
this.
it's Sami Callihan.
And that's terrifying.
A
but
lot of
fine.
a lot of people
I
think it's
just-
Shane McMahon.
I just need him to spit less. Is all I'm asking.
Let me ask, Sami Callihan or Shane McMahon? Which one would you rather?
I think my concern, and maybe it's stupid, but I think my concern with it being Shane isn't even so much about it being the story. It's that the fucking IWC is gonna implode.
Yeah.
And I just like truly don't want to deal with it.
Yeah.
Like I think that's my main thing. Like I know I was really harsh on Shane we're talking about, and I was like, I have never been excited about Shane. Which like when he got older and it was like random shit. Like I think he did better stuff when he was younger.
Yeah, 100%.
Obviously.
That's no
so,
question.
I guess by the time I got into wrestling, it was
Yeah.
2008, 2009, and like he wasn't like this
No.
big dude anymore.
No.
So I guess to be fair to him, when he was younger, he was pretty entertaining.
Yeah.
So I know that he could do this, and honestly, I actually think watching the Vince doc made me a little more sympathetic to Shane.
I did see somebody, there was a big account talking about it, and they were like, the best person to come out of this entire thing is Shane.
Because you see him kind of be like, deep down, he's like, I fucking kind of hate my dad a little bit.
Yeah. And there was always reports of like Shane and Vince were at odds,
Having
and like
problems.
they.
That's why
didn't-
Vince kicked him out.
And that's why Shane left.
Yeah.
Like
I
Shane
thought
left
Vince
for a long.
kicked him out, or did
Well, no. So Shane left for a long time,
Oh,
and then
okay,
he came
okay,
back,
yes.
and then Vince
Vince kicked him out.
did kick him out. To be fair, I do think Shane was a little crazy if the reports are true that he was trying to be in the final four, and he wanted to
Yeah.
eliminate Riddle, and he
Right.
wanted to eliminate Randy,
For
and all
eliminating
these people,
Riddle.
and Randy and Brock were like, "Fuck off, bro!
Yeah.
You are not this
No.
powerhouse,
Right,
dude. That's
yeah.
gonna like, be the MVP of the Rumble."
Yeah.
That was really dumb.
No, I think that's fair. So I don't know, but I think it's hard because I don't know if either one of them are a perfect fit. I think Shane is probably a better fit than Sami Callihan, only because Sami Callihan is not super well known.
You know what?
What? Like he is, but he isn't. Like he's not as big as like Mox and them. Like
Look,
I feel like it would be like a rando kind of coming in.
I get it. I get it. At this point, I don't give a fuck. At this point, I'm tired of everyone being like, but it needs to be a big name because they've hyped it up. Go fuck yourself. It doesn't have to be The Rock. It doesn't. No, but like, it has to be the biggest name possible. It has to be the biggest free agent. Go fuck yourself. I want it to make sense to the story. Shane McMahon brainwashing Jon Moxley doesn't make sense to the story.
No.
And you know who makes sense to the story? The guy that Moxley's been with for like since he was a little kid, like a teenagers, fucking wrecking shit in Cincinnati. That's what makes sense. So I want to see Sami Callihan, who has a hacker gimmick, like who has this brainwashing gimmick, who has this technologically like. The ways to make it evil gimmick, and obviously Mox is probably somebody that like you could be like, yeah, this is a cell phone in 2024 because he hasn't seen one, and it's actually like some kind of brainwashing thing because that's not out of the realm of real life for Jon Moxley. He threw a cell phone into a fucking fire, and it was like, I'm not getting one. That's how I feel.
You all right?
But no, I think Danielson wins.
Okay.
But yeah.
That was a lot. I don't think it has to be a huge name. I think Sami Callihan just freaks me out because he spits and then swallows it back down.
I also think I just kind of love Sami Callihan after watching Wrestling Revolver, like when we were there and just seeing like how he helps out everybody and he's like setting everything up.
I think he could be a really cool badass character. And to be fair, I think you have a much better shot of people knowing him in AEW than if you went to WWE.
That's another thing.
He may be actually well known, like enough even for like what I'm not trying to say like The Rock, but I'm saying like I don't, you don't want to pull somebody off the indies that like nobody knows, but he actually probably is big enough that AEW fans will know who he is.
Yeah, that's another big thing is that like everyone's like, well, no one's going to know him. The AEW crowd will know.
I think the AEW crowd will.
And also, as long as you write the character well, it
true.
doesn't fucking matter. You know who people didn't know? Hologram. I still don't know who's under that mask for Hologram. I haven't watched one Hologram match outside of AEW. And you know who I like? Hologram. Because they've written him well. They've booked him well. They're like, dude, this dude is a really good wrestler who does a ton of cool moves. I see it. I'm like, that guy's cool.
Yeah.
Like,
I
don't want this whole thing with Mox being brainwashed and everything, or whatever is happening with Moxley. I don't want it to go, what has to be this massive reveal.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. It gets to like, this is going to be a crazy hot take.
Oh, God.
But like, in the long term, it would have been so cool to not have Hogan in the NWO. Like, if it would have been Sting or like the people that they planned or something. Actually, I don't know. I don't even know if I fully agree with that because like, I guess Sting being the babyface that fought against them is actually cool. So I take that back. But like, I just don't think it needs to be. I just don't think it needs to be the biggest name for it to. Yeah, for it to be successful. Yeah. It doesn't also have to be successful off the bat. People can go, all right, I don't know who that guy is. Yeah. Let's figure out how he's brainwashed Moxley. Yeah. Instead of being like, well, I don't know who he is, so this sucks. Yeah. Cool, you'll learn who he is over the next coming weeks. When there's a new character introduced in an anime, I'm not like, aw, that sucks. The whole leader of this was Doflamingo, and I don't know who he is. And then he becomes the best, like, bad guy in the One Piece series of all time. I'm going to relate this to One Piece. Shout out to One Piece. And it's like, but if I was just like, well, it wasn't Dragon, and I knew Dragon, so this sucks. Yeah. It would have just, I don't know.
No, I hear that. I think it'll be interesting. I do hope we kind of find out soon, though, because I feel like we've gone a while.
We have to. It's going.
I'd like to actually know, for WrestleDream.
We are crawling. Yeah. About these riddles and everything with Moxley.
Slow burn.
We need to start.
Slow that it's not
we need to start jogging at least. That's all I'm asking. Just a light jog in here.
Yeah, that's fair. But yeah, I do think Danielson takes this one.
I think Danielson wins. I wouldn't be like, I don't have the most confidence in it because I do think that Danielson could lose in Washington, and it would make sense. Just off that, I do think it makes sense. And I do think that Moxley retiring him also makes sense. I just think it makes way more sense for him to lose to somebody like Darby, and Darby works his way back up to defeat Blackpool Combat Club or whatever the fuck this new group is, and then being the one that Danielson's like, you did the thing that only I could do. Right. Like, I could beat Moxley. You could beat Moxley. We're the only two people to do it. Yeah. And you lost that shot at facing me. Yeah. So let's finally have that. And if you beat me, you're the right one. It's almost like you're the chosen one.
It is very passing the torch.
Yeah, quite literally. Yeah. And I think that Darby is the guy. And I also think that they're running with the story of Darby now being the face of the company.
Yeah, they are.
And I think that, one, he should be. Yeah. Because he was one of the originals. Yeah. He does an insane amount of media.
Yeah.
He integrates like Tony Hawk and just cool shit into wrestling, which is very, very rare to see. And now he's gotten so much better on the mic.
Yeah, he has.
That I think that he's very comfortable in who he is, and this is the time.
I'm very excited for a Darby championship win.
He should be the guy.
So.
He should be the guy.
But I think this will be a good pay-per-view.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's going to beat All Out, but I think it's a really good pay-per-view. So if you're watching this before WrestleDream, make sure that you come and watch it with us and hang out with us. Triple Threat Pod on Twitch.
I
don't think... if you're watching this afterwards, let us know how I was right about all these picks.
I think you're right. I don't think it'll be All Out, but I think it'll be good.
Yeah. Cool.
All right.
Thank you, friends.